Alright, I think we got everything set up. I think we're good. This in position. Limited digital releases are still dumb. So hey, what's going on everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario, and I didn't think I'd make a follow-up to this at all, but despite these being dumb, there's some good that came out of this, and it looks like we were able to get a game, prevent it from being delisted is what I'm trying to say here. So I don't think it was only us, but if you did watch the previous video I did on this, and it didn't get tons and tons of views, mind you, but it got a respectable amount, I'd say. It got a few thousand. I was happy with that. But if you saw that video, I talked about a little game called Jump Rope Challenge on the Nintendo Switch. Now just to recap real quick. Jump Rope Challenge is a game on the Nintendo Switch. It is a free game which you can thankfully still pick up at this point. And in case you do not know, this is a nice little game in which, as you can see right here, you just use your Joy-Cons and you get a little bit of cardio exercise day to day, and you're just jump roping here. It's cute, it's nice to see. I really like how this was created as well too. Just to recap that as well, Jump Rope Challenge was created by a small group of Nintendo developers while working from home in Japan as a simple game to add quick and fun movement into their daily lives. Now let's see, it came out June 15th, and the downside to this was going to be delisted. I believe it was announced about 2 weeks prior, but it was supposed to be delisted October 1st. So in that previous video, I was saying, if you did not grab a copy of this, if you did not add the license for this game to your Nintendo Switch Online account, you would not be able to purchase this despite being free after September 30th of 2020. Well, the awesome news here from this Polygon article is Nintendo's Jump Rope Challenge will stay on the eShop. Now let's just take a quick look at this here. It stated, after a summer of 2.5 billion jumps, Nintendo has reconsidered its decision to pull Jump Rope Challenge from the eShop. The free game is sticking around past today. Intended as a timed release, Nintendo had planned to pull the game after September 30th, today. Well, at the time of this writing here. Jump Rope Challenge was offered beginning in mid-June as a way to help folks shut in by the coronavirus pandemic to get some exercise and have fun doing it. And the rest of this here just kind of talks about the actual game itself and how you would play it, but it states here this was from Nintendo thanks to all players of Jump Rope Challenge for recording 2.5 billion total jumps. As new jumpers are joining, the free download will be available until further notice and will not be removed from the Nintendo eShop on September 30th. So there were two big games here that I was talking about in the previous video that kind of prompted that. I had said, a big chunk of it was I was talking about this release right here, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. In case you do not know, this is getting about the same treatment. Not only there is a physical and limited run release of the physical copy here, but the digital version is also going to be getting the same thing, in which if you do not purchase it on the eShop by March 31st of 2021, after that, it is going to be delisted. You are not able to purchase it. If you still have access to a Nintendo Switch account with the license on there, you can always reconnect online and you can re-download it as long as you have access to that account and license. Again, but you cannot purchase a new license for it, is what I'm saying. And that was happening here with Jump Rope Challenge, and the upset thing I was with in regards to this was Jump Rope Challenge was being pulled after it was going to be delisted after 3.5 months of being online. And I still think this is dumb, mind you, right? I still think this is dumb right here. Like, it absolutely is dumb. But I'm really happy that people speaking up against Jump Rope Challenge being delisted, and more importantly also downloading and utilizing this game, really showed like, hey, alright, we're not going to remove this, that's fine, and I will say thank you, Nintendo, for that. This is something that's wholesome. This is an awesome application and game that I see right here. So it was one of those things, it was very much out of their character to take this small game that a few developers were just making in their spare time, put it up for free, and, just something to get people moving around. It's very wholesome. It's awesome. I like it. And at the same time, it just hurts seeing like, oh, this is being pulled for I don't know what reason. Some people were saying maybe it was because there was a software-related exploit that could be utilizing this game here. No, I'm just going to clarify that. If there was an exploit you could use with Jump Rope Challenge, the game would have just been pulled like that. Like, it's as simple as that. It would have been pulled, and it would have been put back onto the store when the game was patched, or when the operating system for the Switch was patched, or when both of them got the exploit patched out. But they wouldn't have given a heads up 2 weeks ahead of time saying, hey, download this game right here. Like, no, that nothing has changed on that front. There was also one other thing I want to talk about too, kind of bringing home the point of that previous video, which was some people still didn't really understand why I was annoyed or upset by the limited release of a digital title. Look, again, if you're going to do a physical release of something, if it's going to be a limited run, a collector's edition, there's only going to be a few thousand copies that are pressed of it, like, okay, it could be annoying, but whatever. If it is going to have a digital release as well too, the idea is that you would still always be able to access it and you can easily grab it from there. You couldn't get a copy of the physical version? Well, guess what? You can just grab the digital version whenever you need to. You don't have to get it within a specific time frame. But this is one of the first times I've seen games like this being killed off, like early on. Not only this is getting, about a 6-month lifespan, I would say, on the eShop, but you have Jump Rope Challenge, little game right here, 3.5 months. I don't get it. I really don't get it. To that also, even with explaining it, some people are saying, well, why is it so hard to understand that some games are just going to be limited? Digital games are going to be limited, and just, hold on, there's something I'm looking for. It's not... No. Okay. Sorry, I was looking around for some logic, and I can't find it. I've looked around here like a good amount in this room. I can't find the logic to that. I was about to say maybe Nintendo wouldn't think this is going to be a big deal. It's such a small game. It's a free little indie type thing that is just for exercising and moving around and all that. But again, you take something huge like this and you're limiting it on both a physical and digital level, and so yeah, it's happening to big releases and small releases. I don't get it. Nintendo will do stuff like this sometimes, and I don't understand it. I know with this little guy, for example, the Nintendo Mini or Nintendo Classic, for a while you could not find these things. These things did not exist, and now you can pretty easily find them. They don't make them anymore, but at one point Nintendo was actually interviewed, and they were asking, what's going on with these? And they'd said something like, oh, we just needed some hardware to go out this holiday season, and I mean, it was just a small print run. It was just a limited collector's edition type thing. We didn't think it'd be that big of a deal. It's like, you knew. Like, how could you not know? I don't know. All I do know is I know Nintendo lost out on a lot of money because every single unit was sold of those, but they were selling the units for $60, and then people were reselling them and actually paying like $300 for them. So I'm sure that's why they did more print runs and such, but they perplex me sometimes. To anybody who watches Aqua Teen Hunger Force, you know that one episode where they're dealing with the trees in the woods, and Shake ends up going to the wood court, and they end up having Carl there, like the trees are messing with him, and because they're trees, they end up using humans as paper as opposed to vice versa. But it's like they ended up writing down something, so they ended up just grabbing it off of Carl's skin.
Tear it off to read it.
And then they flipped him around. They said, no, it's on here. And they grabbed like more skin. And they said, no, it's on the front. And then they grabbed more skin again. There's like, I didn't write anything. There's just like some scribbles. I feel like that's Nintendo going back and forth with this limited digital release type thing. I also kind of just wanted to reference Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I don't know. Either way, I'm happy that Jump Rope Challenge is here to stay, at least for the time being. It's not going to be removed or delisted off of the eShop, and more people can jump around and move around, and, it's just a little something joyful that a lot of people might need right now. I still think stuff like this is dumb. Not the physical release of it, I get it, which this wasn't even super limited, by the way. You can easily find a physical copy. You can find it easily enough, alright? I still think this is dumb with a digital release like this being limited on here, but, you speak up about something like this. You think it's dumb, you don't agree with it, you speak up. Just like what we did with Jump Rope Challenge, you make your voice known, and, you know, maybe something can change. And even if this doesn't, this is another speculation too, even if this release here, like, good on Nintendo for Jump Rope Challenge, bad on them for doing this, but we might see a reprint or something like we did with the Nintendo Classic. Or they might just reuse it in another way, like they did with the Super Nintendo Classic, so we'll see. We'll see. Just don't buy a scalped version. Anyways, that's about it for this video. I kind of just wanted to talk about this, and again, I think if there's something that annoys me that I'm going to disagree with that I think is bad, I do want to talk about it, but if something like that is reversed, I also do want to make a video update talking about it. I don't just want to do like a little comment and pin that, because not as many people are going to see it, so go ahead, grab your pair of Joy-Cons, grab Jump Rope Challenge, and jump away and get that heart rate racing a little bit. It's good for you. Cardio, all that fun stuff. Anyways, that's about it for this video. This is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching and listening, everyone. And I went to sleep at like 3 a.m. I think I'm going to get to sleep. See ya, everyone.